Hey everybody, what is cracking? So, I'm here to talk about how to deal with Josie's SWS stance, which is anything that comes out of this stance. So, she's got a few transitions, and I'm here to tell you how you can deal with it. The thing with this stance is there's no one way to deal with everything at once, but there is ways to minimize the risk. So, I'll just start off with showing you guys like which moves to look out for. So, she's only got 4 to start off with. But after that it gets a bit more complicated. So we got the high counter hit, which is obviously the hardest to deal with and the most, you know, she'll get the most worth out of that because obviously, obviously with her move, counter hits you and you get a lot of damage out of it. So you got the counter hit high, got the low, which is also a launcher. You've got mid as well. It's also a counter hit launcher. And you've got the mid wall bounce as well. So a lot of dangerous options out of that. Every single one is pretty good. But this is how I choose to deal with it. So seeing as this one's a high, you got a high, 2 mids, and a low. Most people will often opt for the high counter hit because there's no risk and there's obviously a huge chance for them to get a combo out of it. That being said, if you're like, you got to see what the opponent does first, I guess, because if they're always doing the high, that's fine because you can just duck and you'll be able to launch them straight away. So if you quickly fuzzy, and you see that, you can straight away do that and launch, right? If you do a quick fuzzy low parry though, or like even commit to a duck, you know, you can get hit by these. Now, that one's not so bad because if you're not pressing anything, you cop that damage and that's it. So that's 17 damage you cop, that's fine. But the dangerous one is the wall bounce. So if you get hit by that, that can lead you to die pretty quickly, to be honest. So it really depends what you want to do, and not many people will do that one because of this upcoming reason. So all these options here, besides the high, can be interrupted by a 10 frame. Oh, and also, that wall bounce can actually be floated if you interrupt, as you can see. So, depending on how risky you want to be, you can actually interrupt all options except for the high. But that's good though, because we want them to do the high so we can duck it. So, it's all about, I guess, reading your opponent. My honest advice is maybe to just go for a quick low parry. That way you can avoid both of these. And the only one you really get hit by is the wall bounce. That's going to really be like effective. That's the safer option. If you're feeling ballsy, a lot of people have a lot of huge damage for 10 frame. Like for example, Lee's 223 or something. Even Josie. That's pretty good. And yeah, it might force the opponent to use the switch stance 1, in which you can duck for a full combo as well. So it's not totally stacked against you. It's just there's nothing really else you can really go for. You can't parry. You can't. This is if you're actually no. Jin can parry it, and Geese will be able to parry it. But obviously with Geese you have to guess as well. You can't sidewalk, all that stuff. So the best way to deal with it, I think, and the safest is just go for a quick low parry. Now, this is where it gets a bit more complicated. So Josie can actually transition out of this as well. And she has a lot of dangerous options here. Now, a lot of people use down forward 4 to transition because it's a mid, it's quick, and you know, a lot of people don't want to do this to go for a mix-up because you can duck it and all that sort of stuff. So, good news is, if you see someone do this, you can actually sidewalk all options. Except for that. Now, again, it comes down to risk reward, sort of like my last video. Like, you know, I would rather cop that than deal with any of the other mix-ups, because, you know, this can lead into a lot of huge suffocating pressure because it's, you know, +4 on hit. You could be fooled into getting launched as well. That, you know, it's not too bad, but we can avoid that one anyway, so that's not as bad. So if you see anybody transition like that, just, I reckon, sidewalk, man, because that little wall standing 4, unless you're on like 1 spec of health, it's not going to kill you. So, to finish up, you know, if they're just doing normal switch stance mix-ups, just go for the low parry. You'll avoid literally 2 out of 4. The third one will only damage you for 17, and the other one is only really worth anything if they're next to a wall. Otherwise, they just get that 1 hit and you can get back up and reset. And the other one, if they're continuing it, you can actually sidestep all options, sidewalk all options, preferably to the left. And the only one that literally will track is the while standing 4, which again is not much damage. So I hope this helps anyone having trouble with Josie's stance. And yeah, look forward to the next video, guys. Peace.